Let me tell you guys something. Floating in an endless cosmic abyss with no hope of escape really gives you time to think on the important issues within life. Stuff like, why are we here? What is free will? Will I ever escape this forsaken place? And most importantly, just who in the fuck is this guy supposed to be? This mystery has been going on within the TF2 community ever since it was first released back in 2009. There have been several theories to link this mystery man with the named character, but none have proven to be truly successful at identifying the enigmatic individual. Until today, that is. I should clarify, only half of the image was originally released back in the Screen Fortress 2009 update, otherwise known as the Haunted Halloween Special. This update was the first Screen Fortress update and can be considered the progeny of the lore we have in TF2 today, as this update introduced several important characters being Bilious Hale, Zephaniah Mann, Bluetarch Mann, and Redmond Mann, in addition to the forerunner of TF2 lore, the Administrator. Also, it shows a dog. Isn't that cool? Now we know that dogs are canon in the TF2 universe. I'm so glad we got that out of the way. This photo is specifically taken just before Zephaniah's death from every illness known to man, as his will, which was written on his own skin, can also be found on the hidden page within the 2009 Screen Fortress update blog post. Now, for a long period of time, the most commonly accepted theory in the identity of the mystery man on the far right was Shameless Mann, brother of Zephaniah Mann and uncle to the Mann brothers Bluetarch and Redmond and Grayman. And the fucker who introduced keys to TF2, so thanks for the gambling addiction.
The house, the wife, the wine.
Until 1 year later in the 2010 Screen Fortress update, which introduced the second half of this torn photo. In it, we clearly see Shameless Mann holding both keys and name tags in his hand, standing by a fireplace which appears to have several papers or letters burning within. The significance of these letters will come into play shortly, so don't you worry. In addition to a painting of a younger Zephaniah and Shameless. This torn photo also reveals a tad bit more of the mystery man and his possible importance within the TF lore. Specifically him being within the center and having a close tie to the Mann family, but nothing too sincere or personal as he is off to the side, away from everybody else. So with all the background information regarding the Mann family photo out of the way, let's try to unmask this mystery man, gang. When Shameless Mann was revealed to not be the mystery man in the photo, everyone seemed to jump on the bandwagon that Gray Man was somehow the man in the photo. And admittedly, from a surface view, this does make some sense. I mean, he is Zephaniah's favorite son, and he does have ties to the Mann family, and he was also kept a secret from everyone at this point in time. But there's obviously a lot of issues with this theory. For starters, both Redmond and Bluetarch claim that they never met Gray Man before in the Blood Brothers comic, while Gray Man appears to introduce himself for them for the first time, in addition to Gray Man just resurfacing a year prior to Zephaniah writing his will, blackmailing his father for his secret cache of Australium. These blackmail letters presumably being the ones present in the fire. I told you they would be significant. Radigan Conager is another name that comes into mind when bringing up the Mann family. Radigan was the grandfather of the present-day engineer, Del Conager. He built the life-extending machines for both Redmond, Bluetarch, and an unconfirmed third member, meaning he does have slight ties to the Mann family. Sadly, however, Radigan Conager was introduced to the Mann family in 1890, while Zephaniah died in 1850, meaning that he couldn't be present during this photo. How about Zephaniah's wife, Betty Mann? Well, I hate to break it to you, but she's dead. Died giving birth. Zephaniah was really torn up about that tragedy. However, her death still does shed some light onto who the mystery man is. Betty Mann's father is only brought up once within all of TF2, and very briefly, within a secret hidden birth certificate page where his name is mentioned being William Darling Esquire. Why do I care about this random chump? You may ask because you didn't do the research or wasted your time on something less productive like getting a degree, having a family, or you just simply haven't been cursed in an abyssal hellscape with no chance to escape like I have. So, let me explain to you the importance of William Darling. William Darling may be the mystery man within the photo. Not only does he have close ties to the Mann family being Zephaniah's father-in-law and the Mann brothers' grandfather, but, and this is a massive but, his possible descendant, Charles Darling, has a huge connection to Saxon Hale, the Administrator, and most importantly, Australium. Charles Darling's connection to Saxon Hale is fairly minor. Saxon was at one point in time Darling's apprentice in animal fighting, until he eventually left to work for the Administrator. However, Charles Darling somehow knows more about the Administrator than everyone else. Grey Man was unaware of the administrator moving and collecting Australium until he witnessed his disappearance from Manco with his own eyes. Yet Charles Darling somehow already knew about the disappearance of the Australian before even Saxon Hale, and how the administrator has been playing both sides of the gravel war and stockpiling Australian for the past 150 years, before the Mann brothers were even born. No other character, save for possibly the engineer, knows about the administrator and their possible plans for the future. It's a shame that such an interesting character who comes the closest to solving the administrator's motives has such a weak motive for needing Australium. Instead of wanting to cheat death like all the other users, Charles Darling instead wants to extend the lives of the animals he has in captivity to make them immortal, so that he can watch their pitiful existence and stare into their sad, defeated faces for his own amusement. Despite the weak motives, Charles Darling still appears to be one of the few people who know about Australium, in addition to his life-extending properties. Something that William Darling had close personal ties to when looking at all three of his grandsons. And there we have it, the 11-year mystery man and the photo solved. I doubt Valve is going to release that final comic anytime before I get out of this hellscape, so there's a fairly good chance that this question will never truly be solved to the full degree. Despite that, I think the theory which I presented here today does attach several characters together in a logical argument and sense to disclose the identity of this man, eliminating those that don't make sense and fitting in William Darling, the perfect fit to this mystery man motif. If you enjoyed this video of me unmasking the identity of a character with substantial lore and relevance, I highly suggest you check out my Skeleton King video, which is linked in the description below. And of course, if you have other theories, information, or even just a straight up answer somehow, feel free to comment down below. It's always nice to read what others have come up with, just in case I miss something. And it's not like I'm going anywhere. Feel free to entertain me on who the mystery man could really be.